Okay, this video is a response to Random Casta's 7 questions for fellow atheists. Nobody tagged me, but I like butting into parties I'm not invited to. So let's see, question number 1. If you could change one thing about the atheist community on YouTube, what would it be and why? Well, I would of course make them all incredibly hot chicks that want to have frequent sex with me. The reason why is because I'm not having frequent sex and I should very much like to. But seriously, realistically at least, I wouldn't change a thing about them. I mean, I like the diversity of the atheist community on YouTube. I like that there's pretty much no unifying trait that the culture has other than a lack of belief in God, and even that has a certain spectrum and diversity to it. I mean, I think the thing that is the greatest refutation of theistic claims that atheism is a religion, or that it in any way, shape, or form mandates conformity or uniformity of thought among its adherents, is, the proof's in the pudding. We're just a diverse range of people, from really good people to flat-out assholes, and we have any range of political stances on any issue. There's just nothing you can really claim of the atheistic community as a whole, other than that to some degree or another they do not subscribe to the notion of God. Let's see, moving on. Question 2. If you could convince just one religious person to abandon their beliefs, who would it be and why? I have seen a lot of people pick the Pope. It seems like there is a lot of strategic thinking to this question, and I'm going to bypass it entirely. My reasons for it are entirely selfish, and to some degree they aren't even especially kind. I would choose my sister. The reasons I would choose my sister is because she has used religious reasons to shun my father, and in her religion, family members are often shunned for religious reasons. But, for instance, I have an uncle that was shunned by my family growing up and shunned by all his family, and the reasons were that he was disfellowshipped, he was excommunicated. I plan on making another video about that someday, but I've always gotten the feeling among my family that they did not like this at all. They only did it because it was religiously mandated and they wished it was otherwise. And with my sister, I don't get that feeling. I think she kind of hides behind the religion, and I would like to deprive her of that excuse. If she's going to be a bitch, I'd like her to be honestly bitchy about it. So moving on to the next question. What is your religious upbringing, and how does it influence your opinion of religion? When I have answered this question before, my video ranged into the 14-minute mark, and I think the only way to avoid that is to make a separate video dealing with this question, and I shall try and make another one at another time. Question 4. What is your most controversial viewpoint as far as general attitudes among other atheists go? Well, I pretty much do not think there are really general attitudes among other atheists, so I don't think I have any stance on any issue that can be depended upon to offend other atheists or annoy them or anything. I think there's some of my opinions would bother and some that they wouldn't, and I just can't think of anything that could be counted on or relied upon to annoy or disturb that wide variety of various opinions that exist among atheists. Question number 5. What scientific endeavor excites you the most? I would have to say that genetic engineering. I think it has a possibility to, through genetically engineered crops, feed a great many people and eliminate famine as a concern to a greater extent, perhaps not entirely. And also it has the potential to wipe out a great many of things that have ailed human beings from the beginning of time, and provide adversity to many among our population to this day, myself included. I kind of wish I could have not had asthma, for instance, and lazy eye, and God only knows what other genetic crap I managed to inherit from my ancestors. And I think it would be kind of nice if we could spare people from suffering that they perhaps don't need to experience. if we have sufficient understanding of the genetic code. Moving on. Of the four horsemen, Dawkins, Dennett, Hitchens, and Harris, who is your favorite and why? I honestly, I like all of them. I like many of them for different reasons. It's another example of diversity is our strength, and I kind of like different qualities about different members of that group. I like Dawkins in general, although I have some pet peeves about him, like using the term Darwinist, which I kind of generally think of as a creationist term. And it kind of annoys me to hear atheists call themselves a Darwinist. Hitchens, I am amused by his raw bastardry. I love to see him go like a pit bull for people's throat on religious issues. I don't think it's necessarily the best tactic to go about it, but again, another example of diversity. I think people need to be attacking the issues in their own way among a wide variety of manners on different fronts. Harris, I've liked the videos I've seen of him speaking. I have Letters to a Christian Nation, whereas I've almost completed Dawkins' book, The God Delusion. I haven't yet touched Harris's, but I like the videos I've seen of him and hope to read his book soon. And the one that kind of fascinates me the most at the moment is Daniel Dennett, who I consider quite possibly the worst speaker among them, but in many ways he just seems to have fascinating thoughts on the issues, and I really need to pick up his book sometime, because he's the only one of the four that I don't actually own a book by. So pretty much go through all that and then say, I just can't pick one of them. Sorry. Question number 7 was your least favorite theistic argument, and how do you go about refuting it? I loathe Pascal's wager like a great many, and I've had my sister use Pascal's wager on me, and I just consider it to be intellectually and morally bankrupt, really. But it's not my least favorite. My least favorite is ones I've discovered on YouTube, never heard of before that. The laws of logic and the laws of many in one, which is pretty much take some aspect of thought or reality and then say that you need God to explain it. Bold assertion without any real solid reasoning to back it up. It's pure crap. It basically seems like a con to me. The laws of logic, you need God to explain the laws of logic. If you try using logic to explain why you explain something without using God to explain it, then you somehow enforce the belief, and you enforce God, because you need him to explain the laws of logic. Circular reason, just bullshit con job, really. And then even worse than that is the laws of many in one, which is that somehow we need the Trinity, the notion of the Trinity, to explain how we can relate to one another as human beings. Just pure crap. Basically, they need to actually back up their assertion with some sound reasoning before it even needs to be refuted. That's it.